On 26th of November 1986, John KAPLER starts his day with a simple cup of coffee. The day was looking alright, and the sun outside was shining very clearly. John was going to his office, but suddenly he realized that he had lost his bag at home. He returned his home to find his bag, but unable to. The bag John lost contained important information about the company in which John was working. When he realized that the bag was not at home, he found himself in trouble. His boss, Mr. Andrew Marcus, was very strict, and when John told his boss that he lost the bag, his boss fired him. Now he's jobless, and the trouble did not stop here because his wife Lily got injured in a car accident. In the passage of time, John tries to arrange the money for the hospital bill, but unable to. The problems did not stop here, and soon his wife expires. Now John was totally broken, but the problems are not ending for John. Soon the nurse of the hospital tells John that his wife was pregnant and the baby was died during the accident. The world was shaken for John. Now he had no job, no wife, and also he had lost his child just in a single day. John lost everything. When John came back to home, he found that his house was burning and the mess was not ending for John. Next day, a person calls John and told him that what is happening to John was done by him. When John tries to ask him why, the phone calls get disconnected. When John tries to call on the same number, the call does not connect. Now, the John was totally broken. Soon John realizes that a person is spying on him. John found himself in a bigger trouble and finally decides to leave the city. When John was driving the car to his very old friend's house in Nevada, he traveled almost 10 kilometers and soon realizes that something is fishy because the person who was spying on John was not behind him now. Not only that, when he reaches his friend's house, he found that his friend Chris was not there, and some Mrs. Juniper was claiming to be the house owner. When John asked for a glass of water, John noticed that the calendar was showing 17th of December 2056. John thought that was some mistake and leaves for his parents' home. When he reaches to his parents' home, he found that the home was empty. Soon John realizes that something is fishy, and when he tries to call his parents, his phone did not work. Now John is losing his hope because he was unable to contact anybody he knows. Finally, he decided to call the police to ask for help. When he told all this to police, the policeman asked and started laughing at him because he was claiming all this happened to him on 27th November 1986. But the policeman tells him that it is 18th of December 2056. For making false claims, police arrest John and put up him in the jail. After 3 days, when police leaves John, he gets back to his parents' house and decided to stay there until he found out what is happening to him. Next day, when John wakes up in the morning, he takes a good bath and leaves the house to search the reality. When he was driving towards the place where actually the events started happening, he found that he was now in 1997. John can't believe it. What was happening to John was totally a mystery for himself, but soon he realizes that he can take help of his friend. When John reaches his friend's house, his friend asks him that where was he from the past 10 years. John tells everything to his friend Chris. Suddenly, a police comes in from the window and John died at the spot. Chris looks out of window and unable to believe that the person who shot John was none other than the John KAPLER himself. And this shocks the Chris. A different version of John killed himself, going back in time. And but why did he do that? Remember that at the starting of the story, a person calls John claiming that what was happened to the John was done by him. He was the same John who killed the other John. It is now a mystery, and Detective Chris Walton decided to solve the mystery.